that's more realistic to me. That the fact that he went into a dead end because he is a child who thinks he knows the city.
Yeah.
Are you in this movie for realism?
God no, but fuck God.
Which is it? Are we going for a realistic take here, or are we going for fucking fantasy flying through the buildings?
No, it's when I pick and choose what can be real and what isn't.
Yeah.
We've established that I don't use logic in these conversations.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Well, let's start the stop.
I got my mission. Did you say let's start the stop?
Yep.
Starting the stop on 3, 2.
And welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where I apparently cannot speak English.
Good luck saying the name of this movie then.
Yeah, Tekkonkinkreet.
Nailed it. How
Wow.
come you can
Yeah.
nail that and you can't say start the clock?
Oh, dude, I fumble over my words all the fucking time. You guys know this. You listeners and viewers know this.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Well,
But I'm
spoiler
Mikey
alert.
Lee. Yeah, well,
He's Mikey Lee. So we spoiled it.
Spoiled that.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, I'm Jordy.
Spoiler alert.
I'm Jay.
Senpai.
Spoiler alert, we're going to spoil this movie.
Yes. This is a classic, I think, at this point.
I don't even know when it came out, but like
2006?
you know, and you didn't until recently, but like this also predates my knowledge of anime. Somehow
Yeah.
this movie landed in my lap a long, long time ago, maybe from you.
Actually, it might have been.
It might have been.
I remember we did watch this together like a long
Yeah,
time
I
ago.
own it on DVD like for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
I think this might be one of those ones like, you know, when I grew up and I found out a lot of kids grew up with like Ghibli in the house
Yeah.
as their like childhood movies, like
Yeah.
kids who like were like 5 years old watching like My Neighbor Totoro and stuff,
Yeah.
and like how I just never got any of that stuff until
Sure.
I was much
Yeah.
older. I had to find it myself.
Yeah.
I had literally never in my entire life,
Yeah.
not 30 years, but like 20 plus years
Yeah.
of loving anime, I'd never heard of this.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get into it right now, but I'm very curious when we get to the Senpai's Corner segment because this doesn't
Yeah.
feel like any other anime movie I've ever seen.
Well, stylistically, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I wish the
It's-
story was more interesting.
what?
No,
He means the story of how
Of
it's
the
made,
making.
not the story of the movie.
Oh, the making. Okay. I
I'm
was
sure
like,
he
yes.
also believes
yeah.
that, but we'll get
I was
there.
like, we're about to get into it right now, bitch.
Yeah.
No, the making of is like
Yeah.
it's very straightforward, standard anime
Yeah.
Yes.
fare.
By
But
the
yeah.
way, guys, we're just a bunch of dudes also trying to get this fucker over here, Jordy, to like anime just as much as we do. Because I think I forgot the intro, but
Yeah,
Not that it
all
really
At
matters.
this point, you get it. And like I said, this one I already liked this movie, so this
Yeah.
was an easy one for me to rewatch and to like have some
Yeah.
opinions on. So that was kind of cool.
it's kind of like nostalgia. Because for me, I didn't actually do a rewatch.
Yeah,
I decided that I would go back and read my manga instead.
nice.
So I was like, so I'm kind of trying to piece together like,
Well, I'll help you. I'm very well versed in this film, so I got you, bro. In trying to find a description for this film, I had a hard time, but the best I can do is that it's kind of like Peter Pan and the Lost Boys and Captain Hook have to team up to take on the bad guys from Pinocchio, Honest John and Gideon,
what?
because they're taking over the town.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Let me get this straight. Peter Pan and the Hook
Peter Pan and the Lost Boys and Captain Hook.
and Captain Hook.
They have to team up.
Okay,
Put
so-
aside their differences.
So I'm thinking
Because-
Peter Pan is obviously black and white.
Yeah, and the Lost Boys. Yeah. And the
then-
cats.
They're the cats.
Yeah.
And then who
Captain
the fuck's
the cops?
the cops?
Captain Hook is, and the rat,
Oh,
okay.
whatever his name
okay.
is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even
But he doesn't really do that
And
much.
they had to, and,
no, but in the end, it's all for the sake of the town.
yeah.
know what I mean?
and Gideon, whatever would be the snake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
because
okay.
they literally want to turn the town into pleasure
Into
town,
Pleasure Town.
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Now your best work, my
No,
friend.
I was gonna saying, like, that was a fucking stretch.
but that's
that was a hard
it's
one.
there.
To
You just didn't
digest,
get
man.
it. You needed me to explain it because afterwards you were all
Yeah,
like, okay.
if it's like a bad joke, man. If you need to
Yeah.
explain the joke, it's a bad joke.
No, it's
It was
just 'cause
also
it's-
like the most 30-something-year-old Anglo-Saxon Canadian white
you're just describing
comparison.
me. You're describing me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
Jewish, though.
Yeah. Fun fact: Honest John from Pinocchio's real name is Worthington Foulfellow.
Fucking.
You're welcome
Okay.
for that nugget of knowledge.
And Senpai's Corner is over here, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. Because I just blew your mind.
Your
With
face,
knowledge.
Jay. Oh, my God.
We'll say that. Yep. All right.
I'm
Let's make this one quick,
old
guys.
and white. All right.
Oh, fuck.
This movie, obviously, it's like a big brother, little brother relationship at its core. That's
Yes.
like the main, but that's kind of just on the surface. If you look a little deeper, it's a movie about gentrification.
Yes.
And it's a movie about having to unify against a common enemy.
Yes. Sure.
You know what I mean? Those
Yes.
themes are like very prevalent if you're looking for them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think the other thing though is that it is at this point a classic movie and a classic story of two brothers too, though.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like you see that kind of trope all the time where you have the big brother protecting the little brother, or it doesn't have to be brothers, but someone protecting the little one who's more pure.
Yeah.
And the other one descends into madness because he knows how like the world really works and how fucked up everything really is.
Well, the madness comes
Yeah.
from a symbiosis they have. Like the two of them can't exist without each other because they're one part of a whole. They're
Yeah.
literally white and black. You know,
Yeah.
they're two ends of one spectrum,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I love their dynamic.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah, I love their dynamic. Jay,
Before this episode, Jay said, if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. So you gauge Jay's opinion based on how little he says.
Yeah, but for our viewers, you can just see it on his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Do you want to say something?
legitimately
I'm curious. I want to know.
legitimately getting red in the face.
General thoughts.
Yeah.
I was kind of just in my head trying to Mikey labeled this like a classic, and
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out I guess what qualifies as a classic in my head. And I think if we're talking about an innovative story, this ain't it.
Sure.
No.
This was to me one of the more predictable movies
Yeah.
that I've seen in a long time.
Right.
Nothing about this caught me off guard, and it's like a dynamic I've seen play out. Like Mikey said, like through history, like through so many different forms of media, you see this, big brother, little brother relationship. I also have 3 older brothers.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I've also lived this in 3 different separate ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through my entire life. So for me, it was just kind of that fell flat for me.
Okay.
So if big impact comes from their brotherly dynamic and this kind of story around them helping each other, that to me, I'm snoozing, unfortunately.
Interesting.
I feel like this is kind of a bit of a flip the script or flip the post.
Like our roles are flipped?
Because I mean, in our Dragon Ball episodes, right? Like how much we love it, like Jay and I love
Yeah.
it, right?
It's
Because
wrapped
there's
up in
nostalgia, right? Wrapped up in nostalgia, and I think
Yeah.
that's such a hard part about doing this podcast when we're picking these shows or movies to do,
Yeah.
is that there's so much nostalgia for someone in this. Mainly me, because I've watched everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
But,
understand
yeah,
though.
but you know what I mean? Like,
It's hard to be objective about it.
yeah, right. And so,
I mean, it's come up a lot lately because a lot of the last run of episodes that we've done have been your picks.
yeah,
So to me, it's more of I know what I like and I've seen what I like.
This
Yeah.
ain't it.
So if I haven't seen something at this point in my life, there's
There's a reason.
probably a reason for that. It's either
Yeah.
too new for me to have got to,
Yeah.
or if it's something like this, it's because when I look at it, I want to rip my eyeballs out.
Wow. Really?
Wow. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about right now.
Wow.
So here. I know you have a particular lane. I guess because we've established that
I get hung up on visual styles
you
a
get
lot.
visual
Yeah.
styles,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also just even genres. There's a couple of genres that you really like.
Sure.
Right. More slice of life.
I would like this
Dragon
movie,
Maid,
right? But
yeah.
this is not that. So let me tell you what this is, because I'll get it out of the way, because I don't want to get hung up on this
Sure.
the whole podcast, because I could.
Yeah.
the backgrounds and the cityscapes and the way that it was animated as far as 3D motion, moving through said landscapes, the layering, the depth, everything about the world that they created and animated was A+, top tier, 10 out of 10, fucking mind-blowing, incredible. And then they put the ugliest, most crudely drawn, childlike doodle drawings on top of it. And maybe this speaks to certain people's visual sensibilities and visual styles.
Yeah.
But I hated every single character they introduced, the way they looked.
Yeah.
And it made it even worse that every single character looked the exact fucking same with just a slight haircut change or skin color change. Therefore, like, I couldn't even cling to a single one.
Interesting.
What?
Because it was
That's so
100%
strange.
of them had the same face. There were so many times where I was watching it where I was just like, you could have told me that was black all grown up, and I would have I wouldn't have questioned you for a second.
Well, I mean, they're brothers, right? You wouldn't.
No. I'm talking
Like
about
some of the
seeing
adults.
like a cop,
Oh, okay.
and if somebody was just like, "That's black, older,"
Yeah.
I would have been like, "Oh, okay, we time skipped, I guess." All right, I'm
Or
on
maybe
board.
this is a Black's dream this entire time.
Right.
Dude, don't. Don't.
I'm just saying it's very weird because it's also very obvious that the person who did the character designs and the character animation was not at all the same person who did the background animation and background
Sure.
designs.
That's clear, yeah.
Now this all came from a manga which was written and drawn by the same person. And if you look at the manga, because I flipped through Mikey's today, it's a lot more cohesive.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way that the characters are drawn, the way that the backgrounds are drawn matches up a lot more.
Interesting.
For me, this was very, very jarring. And I felt like I was watching characters from a different world in a different movie, different animation style.
Yeah.
It's like
sucked into
superimposed.
another world from a different movie.
Like a South
animated
Park
a
or
different
something.
way.
Like South Park.
Yeah,
Just cut and paste on top.
And I kept seeing them and just wishing, I'm like, damn, if they had been more traditionally animated, like anime style,
Yeah.
I would not be so fucking hung up on this. But every fucking frame, dude,
Wow,
when I saw
man.
them, I was like, why are you so hideous?
Plot twist. This is an isekai.
It sure looks like one.
Interesting. I don't have that problem. And we know that I've
Yeah.
had that problem before of not being able to tell characters apart. And I just didn't have that problem
Do
in
you
this
not
movie.
see like? Do you not? But can you not like wrap your head around how this is a huge departure from normal anime style?
Oh, yeah. But I like that
and
about
also how juxtaposed the style of the background and city is compared to the character animation.
That I didn't catch too much, to be honest with you,
That's
personally.
insane to me.
Granted, it should be stated, I watch everything we watch on a very small, not great screen.
yeah.
Yes, that's also
So
true.
that might be a factor.
Yeah.
But for me,
but yeah, I don't know.
when I watched this when this first came out, that's what I liked about it. Is
It's
that
unique.
it was so unique compared to that '90s style anime,
And that's going to get some people,
yes,
Yeah.
and then it's
Right?
going to polarize other people and alienate
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
me, it was like, and it sucks, man, when like I can't cling to anything, dude.
Yeah.
I can't cling to anything.
You
You're
need
just
to, you need
distracted
to broaden
constantly.
your horizon.
Well,
dude.
you know what?
Be
It's-
open yourself,
Dude, this
It's
is
weird to watch
strange
him
because he
it's
says
weird,
this to me usually.
It's weird to watch
Yeah.
it. It's weird. No, but it's weird to watch a movie and to just be constantly staring at the background.
Interesting.
And in that regard, again, masterful work.
Yeah.
The art of this fucking city that they've
Yeah.
built is incredible. The different cultural influences that
Yeah.
are in there.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's absolutely incredible. But whoever
like
did
a-
the character design, I just want to fucking
Yeah.
take them outside and have
Yeah.
a strong talking to with them.
Like you just gave us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, very firm,
There
very
you go.
firm.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think again, I am talking from a nostalgic point. Like,
Yeah.
it is very much so. It was such a fresh take on anime compared to the '90s style anime that I have seen, and like even from the Ghibli style, like all that stuff. It was just so unique. And even then, at that time, I was still fairly young. I didn't have consumed enough media to have that, two brother story kind of get old.
Yeah.
Right?
That's something I was going to say too, that I was really wrapped up in the story. And I know it's like something we've seen before. And I know that usually I get upset when things are derivative or just repeated stories, but I actually found this to be like like just a really well done version. Like it didn't feel like lesser than the other times I've seen it. You know what I mean? And there were a lot of elements that aren't usually part of it that were really selling me. And again, that plus the small screen means like maybe I just missed some animated shit that like wasn't up to par. But like, yeah, I agree with Mikey. I kind of just like was digging it, and
So
the
it's kinda
uniqueness
like-
really stands out for me.
Yeah. So
Uniqueness.
yeah, uniqueness. But I was just about
Of
to
the
say,
animation style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
of the story.
No, the story was
established
just
that
well
that's
done.
not-
Yeah,
The art
yeah.
was very unique.
Right.
but I'm
Yes.
surprised you don't have that same standpoint for Bubble,
What's that?
because Bubble, when we
Yeah.
did our Bubble episode,
Yeah.
it was a very well set out. I'm still hung up on that.
Yeah, you can be. You can be.
But yeah, anyway.
You can be. Okay, like that kind of wraps us up on art, to be honest with you, because I mean,
yeah.
like you mentioned one thing. You breezed across it really quick that I wanted
You
to
breezed
mention.
across Senpai's corner, but we won't talk about
Oh,
that. That's
no,
cool.
I want to hear that. Well, you're
we
the one who went to
haven't
art
gotten to
first,
that
buddy.
yet.
You did it.
We were talking about our general thoughts on the film,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mine center around art.
Yeah.
And now you're getting into the art segment. You literally just said.
Well, I was just segueing naturally. Naturally segueing.
Let me give you some facts about this ugly movie.
I don't
okay?
want him anymore.
It's not an ugly movie. It's actually quite a beautiful movie,
All
but just ugly kids.
You talking about us?
Yep.
I resent that statement.
Tekkonkinkreet or Tekkonkinkrito.
Why
Also-
did they have to make a? Why did they have to put a Japanese accent on an already Japanese title?
Because they're Japanese and they speak in a Japanese accent.
Okay.
That's fair.
Also known as Black and White is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Taiyo Matsumoto, originally serialized from 1993 to 1994 in Shogakukan's seinen magazine Big Comic Spirits. The story takes place in the fictional city of Takaramachi, Treasure Town, and centers on a pair of orphan street kids, the tough, canny Black and the childish, innocent White, together known as the Cats, as they deal with Yakuza attempting to take over Treasure Town. Speaking of the film more specifically, all 3 manga issues were adapted into a 2006 feature-length anime film of the same name, directed by Michael Arias, a white guy.
Oh, interesting. You're so mad about it. Does it even count as anime?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Because every other aspect of this was done by Japanese people in Japan.
Okay.
Therefore,
All
anime.
right.
But yeah, might have something to do with why it didn't land with me.
Yeah. Did you know that going in?
That it was done by an American guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I had to. Look at it.
don't know.
Well, I
I don't
mean-
see white guy on.
That was also the time when, like, you know, anime was trying to become more popular in North
Yeah.
America. So it's like,
Yeah.
Someone was trying out
to-
something
Yeah.
to see if they could make it work.
Yeah.
Either way, I like my anime as Japanese as it possibly can be.
Sure.
I appreciate it always in that from that lens.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with like a lot of the music I listen
Yeah.
to. It's like I don't need Western,
Yeah.
American, white influence on these things that I like.
This is making me feel real bad because it's probably
Okay,
why
I'm
I
gonna-
like. It's probably why I like this movie so much because it had like a little white filter on it that like somehow like
Yeah, that's probably
spoke
why
to me.
I fucking hated
Oddly
it.
whitewashed.
Ah, shit.
Exposed.
So
Shit.
anyways,
But that being said, you and I've had a conversation about some of the music in K-pop because you love K-pop.
yeah,
That a lot of it, like, you can hear when they're trying to be a white pop band.
I hear when they're taking Western influence in their music. What I don't like is when white people try and infiltrate like K-pop and make it more of a Western thing. Like what JYP is doing right now on his new show is he's doing a thing with American contestants are going to train K-pop style to become like an American K-pop group.
And you hate it.
Hate that.
Yeah.
So fucking bad.
Yeah.
I do not need my K-pop getting whiter, and I don't need my anime getting whiter. In fact, I'd like the whole world to not get any whiter. It's white enough.
Honestly, like I am inclined to agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Moving on.
I'm ashamed to say this movie probably got me because it's a little whiter.
But okay, so
Fuck.
as the only Asian guy at this table,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I do understand it where that's coming from because everyone has their own sensibilities as far as what their family and upbringings are, right, and what they've been exposed to, right. Like even for me, growing up, watching mainly white stuff, like in North American TV and content, right, like that's still holds to my sensibilities because that's what I grew up with. But at the same time, the Asian side of me is just like, oh yeah, there's two lanes and I can enjoy both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the middle lane where they intersect, and usually it doesn't work out, but there's usually some gems in there. And like this, I think, is one of them.
Agreed. Thank you, Mikey.
Are you guys done sucking each other off? Can I
No.
finish my senpai's corner here? Or what?
No, I just got validated. I'll suck him off in thanks later. Yeah.
yeah, validating each other's mouths.
We're
I
making
guess, or
our own
something.
yaoi
Wow.
anime soon.
Wow, we're getting gross. All right, finish up what you got there, Jay.
So this was animated by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius or Studio 4C. So we definitely know them. They did Memories,
Okay.
which we just covered.
Yeah.
Berserk: The Golden Age arc.
So good.
Yeah. Macross 7.
So good.
Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff from back in the day, animatrix stuff, and even some Western stuff like Batman and Halo. And
How do you not like that stuff? How do you not like Batman?
It's white people shit.
Batman's okay, but Halo. Ugh. Anyways, I'm just here to piss everybody off today.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
That's right.
he's a Sony guy, but I understand that too. 'Cause I'm,
That's right. PlayStation all the way.
All right.
but I
So
also like Xbox. I like Halo for the first little bit.
the film Tekkonkinkreet premiered in Japan on December 23rd, 2006. The city featured in Tekkonkinkreet was deemed as the central character of the film. Good, because it was the best designed. And the city's design was inspired by the cityscapes of Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Colombo, which is in Sri Lanka. And they're overall trying to go for like a Pan-Asian feel to the city, which
Yeah.
I think they nailed.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
kind
was
of got the
really
vibes.
hard to pinpoint exactly what cultural vibe it was getting.
Yeah.
And I love that ambiguity. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The English electronic music duo Plaid composed the music.
Huh.
An Asian Kung Fu Generation performed the theme song for the film Arumachi no Gunjo. It received quite well. It won the 2008 Eisner Award for the manga.
Yeah.
So the manga is very, very well received.
Mm-hmm.
And some general thoughts on the film included that while it may not be what anime fans have come to expect for a traditional film, the end result is something that, while predictable, is surprisingly engaging. And Chris Johnson of New Type USA wrote, regardless of how much you watch this one, though, this is a film that no serious anime fan should miss.
Interesting how they say it is predictable yet enjoyable.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was predictable, and I enjoyed the backgrounds.
Yeah.
They were enjoyable.
You liked the main character.
You like the
I
main
liked the main character, and it was predictable.
Okay.
And let us move on before we get any further into Jay's opinions.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah,
all I had
that's
to say.
Okay.
Yeah, but before if we do go on, I guess we can go on to the world because it makes so much sense when you said Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Yeah, in
right?
Shanghai.
In Shanghai, right?
Yeah.
Especially because I know it's Tokyo, but it doesn't look like your regular Tokyo.
Well, it's Treasure Town. It's its
Treasure
own
Town.
place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. And it really did feel like its own place. It kind of felt like it did kind of have this carnival vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like as if there's a cultural festival all the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In the way that it looks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you're looking at like traditional Japanese anime compared to this, with them trying to make the world or the Treasure Town look more Hong Kong or Bangkok, Thai or
Yeah.
Sri Lanka or whatever,
Yeah.
you also see those influences within the character design,
Yeah.
right? Like they have a look that,
Suits the place.
suits the place and suits
It's Pan-Asian.
Pan-Asian.
And what are you trying to say that in this one it didn't?
No, that it did.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like the characters have that look to it, right?
Interesting.
Like most Asian people will be able to tell apart, somebody who's Filipino, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it's just those influences are there in the characters too.
Okay.
right?
Cool. Interesting.
I definitely agree in the way they dress them. Like I
Yeah.
think like their clothing choices are like very
Yeah.
hard to kind of pinpoint. I think they look fairly Asian. like in their like actual faces, but
Yeah.
like like the actual like visual styling, like it doesn't really pinpoint a certain time.
No.
It
No.
doesn't pinpoint a certain country or
No.
a certain culture.
It's just its
even
own
a
vibe.
even a certain age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it's very its own vibe.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that about it. Another thing about we're kind of blending world and art because they're kind of same. Like
Yeah.
the world is the art of it, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that you mentioned real quickly that I wanted to touch back on is the way they animate movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everything's so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like there's speed lines.
Well, it's like
Sound effects.
Yeah, the flying part, like right, they always refer to them being able to fly.
What I like about that is that they really did jump in a way that defies physics.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like superpowers.
No.
It just felt like that's what these kids are able to do. It didn't
Yeah.
strike me as like, that's not continuity. Like that's not, humans can't do that.
Yeah.
It just like was on par for what can happen in Treasure Town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little parkour-ish.
Interesting.
That I just accepted it, you mean?
Yeah, because to me, I was like, "What is this fucking magic? They're
Yeah.
not going to explain this magic. Are they not going to give me the rules of this magic, like Harry Potter has done so
they're just
successfully in the
unhinged.
past?"
They're unhinged
No,
daredevil
do you
kids.
see how I'm
Yeah,
just saying all the things that you
exactly.
say?
No, that's very different though, dude.
Dude.
Because when I say that, there's literal magic tricks happening. These guys just have the ability to jump and, like Mikey
Yeah.
said, parkour around to a degree.
and fall
Yeah.
through buildings from hundreds of feet in the sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
But swords are totally within the realm of physics. Jumping is not, but swords still are.
What do you
Yes. Okay. There's certain. Okay. Let's get into this for a second.
They pick and choose, dude. They
Yeah,
pick and choose
they're-
constantly for the sake of art.
Art. Yes.
Yeah, but they're
And-
not. But this is the thing, though, dude. When I get angry about magic, it's when characters can like do magic and have powers, and there's no explanation for that in the world. This is literally just like high flying daredevil kids who can do some
Yes,
crazy shit.
that's what I wanted to point out. Is just that like Batman, Daredevil, all those kinds of characters that don't actually have real super strength superpowers.
Yeah.
They jump off shit all the time and we accept it.
Yeah.
Why can't we accept it in this?
I normally would accept it. I'm calling him out for blindly accepting it when if this was any other number of things, he would definitely be getting caught up on the fact that they can seemingly fly
Dude,
with no
if he can shoot
explanation.
like projectile energy like features or whatever out of his hands to defeat his enemies, then I'm upset because there's magic and they didn't explain
No,
it.
dude, he can just he can just split into a second body that has a fucking goat head on it and a giant
That is
spear.
something totally
dude.
different.
No, dude.
That's
No,
fucking
dude.
something
murders
totally
people for him,
different.
dude. While he
dude.
sits there in fear.
No, dude, no. Because dude,
All right, fine.
he's the only one that sees the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the only one that sees the
now,
Minotaur.
you accept it. You accept it. Let's move on.
Okay, man. Fuck. All right.
Double standard having bitch.
dude. Bro,
Let's go.
Oh,
we're gonna
my
have
God.
words.
Yeah, we're having words with this
Okay.
one.
The
Holy
music
fuck.
was fine. I didn't have a lot to say about it. It just was good. You know what I mean? It didn't strike me as being exceptional. It was just another one of those movies where like the soundtrack was good. It served its purpose. I liked it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
Didn't notice it half the time.
Yeah, from what I remember from it, nothing ever really stuck with me for the OST.
Yeah.
But you know what actually did really stick with me is when our friends and family and our Shweebs out there and viewers and all that stuff. Yeah, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
When you like and subscribe.
There it
that
is.
sticks with me.
We got it. I feel like I ruined that one for myself because I was like, he's going to do it right now. And then you did.
I did.
Before you even said a word, I was like, he's going to slip it in right here. Anyways.
Anyway,
Please like and subscribe us, guys.
Yes, and also tell a friend. Please,
Yeah.
please. Let
And-
people know if you like our content.
Come say what's up on the Discord.
Yes. And just make suggestions.
Yeah. Tell us what you like to see and don't like to see.
Yeah.
And are we playing that game? I thought we were playing a game.
Okay, yeah, okay. And if you like some like other content instead of just us doing an episode on an anime every week and want to hear us talking about husbandos and waifus or something
Yeah.
else, let us know too in the comments. But wherever you get your podcast, like and subscribe, turn on the notification, go do all that stuff. Help us out. We love you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, cool. We're into characters.
And
We're not going to talk about the design of the characters because we've talked about that already.
I mean, you guys can give your
Shush.
opinions on them.
No, I'm good.
Why?
Because my notes are actually all on like character, like the characters, not the way they look.
So as in like you didn't find anything noteworthy about how they looked.
Yeah, definitely
From
not
your
that it was
notes.
awful. I didn't have that note.
No?
No, I didn't. I thought it was
No.
fine. It didn't bother me.
Well, we've already accepted that. Now we're moving on from that.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with Black, who is like your cool, confident older brother. He's definitely like a protector type. Do you know what I mean? And he is also like super unhinged, right? And you see tastes of it at first, and that develops over time, right?
Absolutely filled with trauma.
Yeah, and I won't call it a slow burn because you really do see it right off the top, but the way they reveal it is very like impressive to me. You know what I mean? Like it's not just it's methodic the way they like give you those scenes spaced out over time to get him to where he gets in the end. I really appreciated that. Yeah. What is cool about him too is he has like two purposes in life that keep him grounded to a point, that keep him from completely losing it. And the two purposes are his brother and the town.
In the town.
Yeah, in
Right?
the town.
Which they often refer to as their town.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anytime somebody says it's their town or their own town or my
Yeah.
town again, he's like just fucking unhinged.
Yeah, except Chaco, he's like, you could say it. Because
but
he's harmless.
Yeah, well, that's the thing,
Yeah,
though,
they
right?
just-
Because Black doesn't respect chocolate.
Yeah. They permit him to think it's his, he can
Yeah.
say it's his town. They're like, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyways, to counter Black, you have White, who is like, yeah, your little brother. He's meek. He's like weird. He's like oddly profound, which is also a trope for that like younger brother. Also unhinged, but in a very different way. Also deep, deep trauma.
Deep trauma.
What's
but
interesting? Sorry, go ahead.
pure in a way, and also like almost telepathically in sync with the town.
Yeah, totally. And that's like something they wrote in for him. Like that was a little heavy handed for me. You know what I mean? The fact that he's connected with the town felt a little magical, if I'm going to be honest.
It wasn't magical when he ran into a dead end and got stabbed.
What? No, he got stabbed.
He just got
When he
stabbed.
ran into a fucking dead end.
No, the monster stabbed him.
Yeah.
When it cornered him in a dead end of this city he knows intrinsically like himself.
Yeah,
How
but
does he
he-
run into a dead end? Give me a break, dude.
He's getting, they're both unhinging more and more at that
Dude,
point. They're losing their faculties.
When he was running away from him, I was like, don't you dare get lost in this city. You know this city? This whole movie is about how you know this city. And then he runs into a fucking dead end.
Hey,
It's stabbed.
But here's the thing.
He's panicking and he's lost his grounding.
Man.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is what I want to say about that. Right? Is like that's more realistic to me. That the fact that he went into a dead end because he is a child who thinks he knows the city.
Yeah.
Are you in this movie for realism?
God no, but fuck God.
Which is it?
But-
Are we going for a realistic take here, or are we going for fucking fantasy flying through the buildings?
No, it's when I pick and choose what can be real and what isn't.
Yeah.
When did we've established that I don't use logic in these conversations.
It just drove me crazy that you
Yeah.
see the way they move through the city, and it's
Yeah.
like walking for them the way that they can hop around building to building, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's just like cornered. I don't know, man.
Dude,
It
I
felt so
maintain
weak,
the
dude.
fact that by that point, he's already kind of separated with Black and they're both kind of starting to lose it. And he's lost his faculties a bit. He's panicking and he's just escaping from an enemy who's stronger than anyone they've had to fight in Treasure Town before.
I just didn't need the dead end, man.
All right.
That was such an eye roll
All right.
moment for me. Yeah.
All right, well, moving on. Next, the other guy I want to talk about, and I keep forgetting his actual name, but they call him the Rat, so that's what I'm going to keep calling him.
Suzuki,
Okay,
yeah.
so he's like a Yakuza boss, I guess,
yeah,
right?
he like returns to
yeah,
the town.
exactly. And he's like weirdly sentimental for like a Yakuza boss to the point where at first you're like not intimidated by him, but that's on
Not at
purpose
all.
because you're not
Yeah.
supposed to be. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because he's kind of one of the good guys. You find out.
He's there's a silliness to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, I didn't get the silliness part, maybe because I read the manga just recently instead of doing a rewatch.
Sure.
But it just seemed more about the fondness and tradition
Yeah.
and the idea that, oh, you know what? I am an old dog that can't learn new tricks.
Yeah.
Right. And the realization that, you know, the gentrification that we talked about before or
Yeah.
the inevitability of change, right, is
Yeah.
hard on people, right? Especially in your older ages,
Yeah.
right?
Not to foreshadow like what happens in the end, but like it kind of feels like they almost wrote his character as if he knows what's going to happen to him. He's almost there to say goodbye. Do you know what I mean? To feel all the feels, to see all the sights. You know what I mean? To relive his past one last time and then say goodbye.
Say goodbye
You know what I mean?
permanently.
Yeah. Okay, another character. Wow, spoiler alert, Mike.
Well, we already fucking know. That
I know. Okay, another character is Kimura. who is another
Yeah.
weird character because he's like a young, kind of like scrappy,
Up and coming Yakuza.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But he's like super, like he's kind of dumb and impulsive. Do you know what I mean? Like he's letting his emotions make his decisions for him.
Which is very prevalent in a young Yakuza who's trying to prove himself.
Yeah. You also can tell that he like is torn a bit between like wanting to be a bad guy and wanting to be a good guy. And he's like can't tell where the line is between the two. Like I feel like that's a big element in his character.
Well, especially like his biggest, I think, struggle or strife was when he had to, when he took the gun and was asked to kill his old boss.
Yeah, dude,
right?
100%.
Like even just going after some punk kids that beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
he's just kind of mad because his ego got hurt.
Yeah. He keeps getting put in those situations where he like has to do something or agrees to do something and then he like has to second guess. Like at one point he's working with like the Mr. Snake guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the snake guy pulls a move and he's like, what? No, I didn't sign up for that. He's constantly getting in situations where his answer would be like, no, I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you did. So.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
kinda
like
did.
the other Yakuza.
Yeah.
I'm not like other guys.
Yeah. I'm sensitive and
Yeah.
sweet.
Different.
Yeah.
I'm emotionally available.
Yeah, but also you find out that his mentor was the rat, so it makes sense that he kind of has a little bit of that in him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing where he came from. Okay, the other guy I want to talk about before we move on from characters is Mr. Snake or Professor Snake, depending on what scene you're talking to him.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of creepy. He's supposed to be the creepy kind of
Yeah,
guy.
he's the greasy one with that weird
Yeah.
curly like lick on his
Exactly.
forehead.
He's a little too clean for Treasure Town, unlike anybody else. You know what I mean?
But he is that portrayal of the corporate
Absolutely.
gentrification. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's the foreigner, the
Yeah.
invading colonizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you meet him is one thing that happened when I watched is when I met him, I kind of had this understanding of how similar everyone else was. Do you know what I mean? He's so different that everyone else, I'm like, oh, everyone else is kind of in the same boat. Even though they all have different paths of how they got where they are, they're all still like residents of Treasure Town.
Yeah.
And in the end, that's kind of their purpose, right?
This guy's clearly an outsider.
Yeah.
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 Exactly. And I thought that was kind of interesting, like a subtle theme about how like the place you're from kind of shapes who you are. And we learn when we meet Mr. Snake that like, everybody, regardless of who they are, has a little bit of that sameness in them. Right. I thought that was kind of cool. And this dude also, like you said, clearly represents like the corporate culture and gentrification. He comes in with this like newfangled plan on like what to do with the town and whatnot. And then everyone has to come together in order to, stop him from doing his evil plan.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Have you heard that story before?
No, man, this is such a unique, innovative story.
Yeah.
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 That sounds so original to me.
Yeah. Okay,
Especially
cool.
how well done it is.
Yeah. Well done is something I'll hang my hat on about this movie. I think it was done really well,
Yeah.
plot wise. Okay, so let's get into the plot. So, we start off in Treasure Town, and Treasure Town's like a little rundown. You get the idea that it's run by gangs, and you like get told pretty quickly that the gangs are kids. There's this kid gang called the Cats.
Yes.
What you don't get told is it's just two kids. There's other kids that are kind of like scrappy young gang kids, but they're not the Cats. They're just
Yeah.
other
There's
kids.
the Chocolates gang, and then there's
Is it Chocolate or Choco?
Choco.
Choco.
Yeah.
And-
Chocolate.
Chocolate. And
It
then
might be chocolate in the manga. I don't know. I didn't read it.
That's
but-
true.
Then you have the Yakuza. Then you
Yeah.
have the corporate gang.
Yeah.
You could technically call them that.
Yeah.
And then you got Dusk and Dawn.
Is that the other kids?
Yeah, the other two kids.
Oh, I didn't know they had a name.
Yeah.
In the movie, I don't think they give them a name. They're just around. Okay, so then you see the Yakuza and the one Yakuza dude, the rat. He goes to his cronies, something along the lines of like, go spread some poison. You know what I mean? Let's do some cat extermination. And I'm like, whoa, that's ruthless because we already know that the cats are children. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to kill children?
Yeah, essentially.
And probably he is.
The whole theme of this movie, basically.
Yeah.
is let's kill these kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Pinocchio. Let's turn him into donkeys.
You love Pinocchio, eh?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Pinocchio elements in this movie.
Yeah, it's such a relevant movie, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hey,
I don't. I don't see it that much.
Can we
man.
stop pointing out that I'm old and white now?
Can you?
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. You're
doing
outing
it.
yourself, man.
I'm just living my life.
something
Living my
else,
truth.
bro.
Okay, cool.
Rick and Morty or something. I don't know. What are these
Yeah.
kids like these days?
I don't know. Do they like that?
I think so.
I thought it was all right.
I like that.
It was
too.
fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, then we also meet the cops who are this classic, like, there's the new cop who joins the team and he's like, glad to have you on the team. We're going to really turn this city around if we try. Like, that's kind of their type. You know what I mean? Yeah, then these rando kids, you call them Dusk and Dawn.
Yeah.
They show up and they're like, oh, we're going to take over this town. But, like, they're not going to.
No.
That was never going to happen. and that they get kind of like hustled by White because he's acting all like oblivious, and then these kids get run out of town, basically. Right? And that's where we first see Black like as a little lunatic.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little crazy. We see White and Black's little house, which is kind of cool. They have that little like car
That they sleep in.
that they live
yeah.
in, and they have this little corner. I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of cute. But again, that's part of the art you maybe liked.
Yeah.
The scenery.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, world design.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I thought that was cool. And White's like,
Plants a little apple seed
what?
later on.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's right.
I forgot about that. So when we're in the scene in their house, White's like kind of just playing like a kid. He's got this Agent White thing he's always doing. And while that's happening, Black's out robbing people. And he brings back a bunch of money and he's like, hey, I brought today's haul, right?
Yeah.
And you find out they're like saving for a place on the beach. That's their plan. They want to leave Treasure Town, right?
Yeah.
But you also get the vibe that like, leave Treasure Town? Is that in the cards for you? You know what I mean? Which
They
is the big
are Treasure Town.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
the big
Treasure Town.
conflict within Black, big time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we meet Chaco, and he's like trying to run this town, and him and his gang look like a bunch of clowns, and also gave me kind of Akira-ish vibes,
Oh, yeah. From the clown bikers gang.
which is
yeah.
probably on purpose, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
for sure.
And then one of those clowns ends up selling Chaco out to the Yakuza guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The sergeant or whatever.
Yeah.
Gets his fucking ear cut off.
Yeah, and sent back to Chaco in a box,
Yeah.
right? Bonkers, dude.
Dude, one of the best scenes is just after that.
I know, dude. I'm gonna get to it in 1 second, but there's another scene I want to talk about first because I'm kind of going linear. I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, so before that scene, you get this weird bathhouse scene with the old man.
Yes.
Which like red flags because of the culture I was raised in, but so not creepy.
No,
Yeah, no, that's
no.
a cultural difference.
It's the
for
best,
sure.
dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Because
purely
bathhouses,
wholesome.
yeah,
So wholesome.
bathhouses
Yeah.
in Japan are so common,
Yeah.
right? And like a lot of apartments don't have a bath or shower, right?
Yeah.
They go to public baths.
And they just wash each other, but like because you got to wash.
Yeah.
And we're just friends here.
How am I going to
Yeah.
wash my back?
Yeah. I mean, I wash my own back, but
So that's the one thing that I wish was fleshed out a little bit more is that their relationship before the old man came back into town, right? Because you don't really know whether or not that is actually their grandfather because they're technically orphans.
I like to assume not. I like to assume it's just the Treasure Town bond.
Yeah,
To
I think
be
that's
honest
so
with you.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like being on the streets, and
Yeah.
he just happens to be the old guy on the street,
Yeah.
right? And they've just kind of made a good connection.
Yeah. Well, he's meant to, I think, represent what all these Treasure Town people think of when they think of Treasure Town. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? White and Black, the reason they're defending it. Same with the Rat, the reason he came back, what he loves about Treasure Town. It's this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all these guys. And then in that scene, White has this crazy daydream with an elephant,
Yeah.
which means something.
And so
I don't know what it means, but it means something.
Me neither, dude.
no,
Yeah.
so,
Me
so-
neither.
So how I read it, especially in the
You
manga,
hated it, eh?
It's just like, what is going on?
So again,
I just thought maybe he's a little loony and we're just seeing into his mind for a second.
yes,
His little daydreams.
but like, how old is he supposed to be really in the
It's a good
anime?
question. They don't
Like,
say, I don't think.
Yeah, they don't say, but he looks and acts like a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
right? And for a 10-year-old, having these imaginative dreams or letting his imagination go wild, right? And being with all that trauma, disassociating, escaping into a world where he feels safer and like, feels warm instead
Yeah.
of having to, be in reality and
Totally.
having to live in a car,
Yeah.
having to worry about your older brother who's going out and doing crazy shit because he knows
Yeah.
Black is doing bad stuff.
And he's stuffing it down.
Yeah, and just
He's not thinking about
repressing
it.
it
Yeah.
and repressing it, right? And so like the mind that like a little kid like that is probably going through all that turmoil.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to cope.
Yeah, he's just la la la. There's
Yeah,
an
right, like-
elephant.
Right? Like that's the best way to do it is
Yeah.
to disassociate in that way,
Yeah.
right? And then that was just a visual representation of it.
I like it.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
My read off of White in general was like maybe a little bit of like neurodivergence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know
so.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like-
Whether caused by
Absolutely.
trauma or accentuated by trauma,
Or
I
just
agree.
like,
yeah.
I mean, I just like, at times like he displayed almost like autistic kind of behaviors
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, very
and-
true.
And yeah, so I just saw a little bit of that in him and it just endears you to him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's,
Absolutely.
like and it's really a central theme to the whole thing that they kind of fill in each other's gaps, right? But
Yeah.
like but White really is like the heart and soul and like
Yeah.
emotion
Yeah.
behind this yin and yang that they kind of formed, the two
Totally.
of them, right? Where
Yeah.
like they even there's even like a really like nice line that they share about screws And
Oh, yeah.
and how White's like, I've got a few screws loose.
Yeah, but Black
on
has
my
all the
head,
screws
but
I
he-
need.
But Black has all the screws I need, and he's missing a few screws in his heart.
Yeah.
And I have those for him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they fill in each other's gaps in those sort of ways, right?
Yeah.
And like that was sweet. You
So
know,
sweet.
That was a nice delivery.
Yeah,
On that. Yeah.
I agree. Hey, Jay liked something about this movie. Amazing.
I'm not trying to hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Ever.
You just did hate it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, dude. You didn't ask to hate it. You just
didn't
feel the way
ask,
you feel
yeah.
about it. Okay, so let's get to the scene that Mikey loves. Okay, so that night, Blake,
Wow.
Black like kind of goes off in night mode, and he goes to do this like vigilante shit, right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of got this Batman meets the Joker vibe. Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit of a persona that
Yeah.
it comes out.
Yeah, I like that. And he busts into what's it called, the Yakuza guy's office as they're telling Chaco like, "Hey, we kidnapped your mom." You know what I mean? And he's screaming. He's at the window and he's screaming like a maniac. And there's a crow screaming with him, and
Yeah.
it's like just this bonkers situation that you've never seen him like this before. You know, he's like a little like violent, but he's a maniac here.
Yeah.
And he fucking busts in through the window, gets
so
glass
good.
all up in his face, and starts laughing while he's bleeding.
Yeah.
And then he fucks this dude up with a bottle.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so
destroys this guy, dude.
Yeah. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
It was
man.
pretty brutal.
And then he flies out of there. Literally flies.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, just him perching on the like right before he breaks through that glass,
Dude.
is so epic.
Yeah. It was intense.
It's very reminiscent of like
Yeah.
Batman kind of feel,
Totally.
right? Like superhero kind
But
of,
crazier, right? Like Batman's too serious.
Anti-hero kind of
Yeah.
vibes, right?
Yeah. And then at the end of that scene, you're left with like a bunch of bloody, probably dead guys in a room, and Chaco crying and breaking the fuck down.
Yeah.
Which was kind of intense because he's the toughest guy after them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, which ends up like he has to leave town. Like that's not right away, but you find out he ends up getting his mom back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he like takes the costume off,
Yeah, you see him in his actual face,
and they get on a train, and they're like having tea and leaving town.
Yeah, it's like you used to love these tangerines.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that scene, Black gets home and White starts calling him out about like keeping shit from him. And Black does this like deflection and like turns it into like a kind of a play fight. And I'm like, this is clearly Black not dealing with his trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyways, they smooth it over. We'll get to it later, but we start getting some references about the Minotaur.
Yes.
It's people are talking about it.
Cryptic.
The kids,
Yeah.
actually, one of them kind of goes so far as to say that, is it Black? He already
So-
kind of thinks it might be.
So this is the difference between the movie and the manga.
Yeah.
So the only time you get an actual reference to the Minotaur in the manga
Yeah.
is when Dusk and Dawn fight Black and White.
Oh, okay.
And, Dusk and Dawn are like, hey, White, you should come with us because your brother Black is kind of like,
Yeah.
he's kind of unhinged.
That's the scene
oh, that's this
in the
scene?
movie. Yeah. They're trying to convince White to come with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 So I guess that's. But is there any other reference in the movie from other people?
No. That's the
Okay.
only scene where they talk about the
So
Minotaur.
that's actually then a pretty good like
Is
one
it?
to one.
Okay.
Because that was my thing is like I haven't watched this movie in such a long time.
Yeah.
But just for fun, and I was like, I haven't read a manga in a while,
Yeah.
so I'm going to read this one.
The kids
Yeah.
bring it up in context of because they're telling them about these 3 huge monsters that have shown up in town, and they're like, they're so strong, like no one can beat them. Maybe the Minotaur might
Yeah.
be the only one,
Yeah.
right? That's how it comes up. So that was kind of cool. And then, we meet Mr. Snake pretty much right after that, and it's in a bar while Kimura's drinking. Like he's all fucked up about what's going on with the Yakuza and shit, and he's like not happy. He's drinking, and that bar is the coolest fucking room, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure you noticed as well too. Yeah. It's like littered with like pictures of eyeballs and they're all red. And this fucking Mr. Snake guy comes like almost dancing in.
Yeah.
Like
Or
snarky.
slithering in.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
He was slithering.
He
like
was, you're right, yeah.
I'm a slithery
And he basically just like
snake.
drops a card and is like, hey, call me. Like,
I'm a snake.
Yeah.
Slithery snake.
Wow, Mikey.
You guys don't remember that old fucking YouTube
Can we clip
video?
that? Can we clip that?
Yeah, we're gonna clip that.
Okay, cool.
Slither.
And then in the next scene, we see that Mr. Snake, and he's now like giving a proposal to the town, to like the mayor or whatever. And he's basically like announcing his plan to build this like crazy Funland Pinocchio place. Yes, I love Pinocchio. Sorry, Jay.
That's actually kind of disturbing me now. Like how much you love Pinocchio.
Dude, it's the reference. The movie gives me the references. I just noticed them. And then what's funny about this is the rat starts speaking up, dude. He's like, no, this isn't really what Treasure Town needs. Like, what about the strip club?
Yeah.
That's his response.
Yeah.
And he literally says the words, why tear this town down? Why tear the strip club down and build a kid's playground?
Yeah.
Like, talk about backwards motives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bonkers, dude.
Well, he is a Yakuza.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, that's true. But in this moment, I don't think he's talking about it from a gang perspective. He's talking about it from a loving Treasure Town perspective, right? That's
yeah,
kind of
having the nostalgia and the fondness for certain
Exactly.
things. Like, for example, like when, like, we're from Toronto, guys. I know some people don't know.
Yeah, all our international
Yeah.
fans, international sweeps.
Because some people have said, "Oh, you guys are from Canada." I thought you guys were American for the longest time.
Yeah.
But like, we used to play at this place called the Big Bop.
Yeah.
All the time, and now it's a condo
Yeah, no, it's a condo furniture store.
or condo furniture
That's
store.
way worse.
Yeah, it is way worse.
Yeah.
But we used to play there all the time when we were in a band.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
it's that same kind of feel.
Yeah.
Right. And then dealing with the inevitability of
Yeah.
change and corporation and gentrification.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, why did I bring that up? My heart hurts.
Yeah, it hurts my heart too. That's all right, though. We're different and older and wiser now.
Yes, it's true.
Okay, so Mr. Snake then unveils his monsters. We meet these three like giant, weird Frankenstein kind of motherfuckers, and then we also find out that Kimura is working with him, and I guess he's kind of jaded about how the Yakuza is like lax about the way things are happening in the town. I never really got why he left the Yakuza. That happened quickly. I don't know if you have insight or not.
No, it's
That's
never
all right.
really fleshed out either.
No big deal.
I was a little annoyed when he's unveiling these three assassins and they have names like Dragon, Butterfly, and Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're just three like identical
Yeah.
twins of each other.
Yeah.
They just have no differentiating.
There's probably a
visual
reason.
characteristics whatsoever.
They're identical because I'm pretty sure they're like clones or like not humans. Like they're made.
Yeah, I know, but to me it was just like, really, you're not gonna give me any variety in this entire movie?
Yeah.
You just created three monsters and they just look like blue-gray versions of the cops.
Yeah.
They look like older versions of the kids,
So they're different shaped and they're bigger
Or they're just triplets.
and different colored. So
but same face.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. These aliens, who are clearly aliens, are trying not to look like aliens,
Yeah.
right? So they're not going to look so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, I thought that might be one area where I was like, all
You
right,
wanted
this,
a monster or
this is gonna
something.
Be cool. Like,
You wanted something
Like an actual
crazy.
monster.
well, some characterization. I don't know. And
Yeah.
then they're just like nameless robots. You know what I mean? They're just like,
Yeah.
guy with name tag number 1. who's
That's what
just
they
gonna
are.
Be fodder.
I think that's what they are. That's what they were intended to be all along.
I know, but like, you have an opportunity there for more than that.
I guess so.
But okay, so let me ask you this: if you owned a race of assassins, for example, or like an organization of assassins,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Would you not want them to be all unified, like as far as looks and whatnot goes? Like when you have
Unique.
if you have an army of ninjas, they're all gonna look the same.
No, I want some to have like wings and shit. I want some
Yeah.
to like crawl on the ground on all fours. I want some
So
to be
you
like a
want-
gorilla. Like I want like, you know what I mean? Like you could have made one huge, you could have made one really sleek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have played with that a little bit
I'm gonna-
and still made them unified.
That's a shonen. This is not a shonen.
I'm going to make up a justification right now off the top of my head, okay? What they represent in the theme is the nameless, faceless, destructive qualities of the corporate world coming into your small town.
Yes. Oh, fucking burn! Add cold water to burn.
Okay? It was all on purpose and intentional.
yeah. Yeah.
And we'll move on from that now because you
That was an
accepted.
ass pull and a half, dude.
No, dude.
Put some real fancy flourishy words there to try and make the justification
Hey,
for
dude.
lazy character design. But all right,
I
go
talk
ahead.
good.
You do.
Okay?
You do. It would work on the less intelligent. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if no,
Are you talking about Mikey?
No.
Oh, fuck you both. Oh wait, you didn't. You said no.
Okay. Let me get
Anyway.
back to it.
I talk well.
The
I speak
monsters.
I talk good.
Yeah,
talk good.
you're good at words. Okay, the monster shows up at White and Black's place and starts fucking up Black, okay?
yeah.
And then White starts to like act all weird because he gets smacked around a bit too, and he says something along the lines of like, "To ants, I'm a giant," and then rushes in with a rescue.
Yeah.
And then there's this like massive chase scene, which where you get a lot of that cool speed animation in this chase scene. They're on the side of a building. They're jumping off trains, shit like that. Suddenly the alien suffers a massive head injury and doesn't die. And that's when you realize like, oh, this guy, these aren't living things like we know them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know what they are, but they're not just like humans.
they're
There's
not.
definitely some sort of unexplained magic going on with them.
or alien or robot.
Yes,
But they don't tell
I
you.
say
No, but-
cyborg.
But that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, because they don't need to tell you. Because of what they represent.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
I enjoy this side of Jordy. When he can just
Yeah.
blindly love something like I do. This is what the podcast is about. Is getting you to blindly love. You know what it is?
What?
It's the nostalgia factor again.
It might be.
Right? It's like
could
you
be.
can blindly love something because of the nostalgia factor, but now when I
Yeah.
show you anything,
It also, when it comes to
Yeah.
magic and accepting things, nothing is over the top here. You know what I mean? It's like parkour plus. It's like strong guys plus.
You've complained about way less. You've complained about way more benign shit than this. Dude.
You're probably right.
I'm definitely right.
All
dude.
right. But we're going to move on from this.
okay.
So, anyways, and then after the head injury, White shows up like up on the ceiling, spouting his weird Agent White shit again, and just like pours gasoline down on the fucking monster and lights him on fire.
That
Which
was
was
a
badass.
pretty badass moment. I have
super
to say.
badass, dude, yeah.
I was definitely not expecting the gasoline to just start pouring down from above.
Yeah.
And for it to be fucking
Yeah.
white, just like
And the look of shock on Black's face while it's happening too.
pure shock.
Yeah.
And White's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
time to burn this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I love
pouring
that.
gas.
That juxtaposition. That was a good moment.
And he's
for
speaking
White.
some weird nonsense in classic White fashion.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was perfect for them.
Yeah.
So White, you see him kind of like losing his mind a bit here, and now he's running, and he ends up face to face with the monster in a dead end. Gets a little stabby.
A little.
He gets pretty stabby.
He gets a
He gets
giant,
giant stab.
fucking sword stuck through his abdomen,
Yeah.
dude, and bleeds in a giant pool of blood.
Yeah, but he gets saved
he
because
lives.
the cop shows up. The cops show up.
He lives.
He's rescued.
Giant sword through the abdomen
Yeah.
of a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
He lives.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
It's a miracle, though.
Yeah,
They
kids
make
bounce
sure
back.
they say that.
A miracle
Yeah.
of modern medicine.
It's a miracle of modern medicine that he lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that.
They
'cause
did it.
It better be.
I hope when you get stabbed through the gut that you have doctors as good as his. Okay? I hope
Really,
that
I
for
gotta
you.
go to fucking Treasure Town or
I hope
something
that
to
for
get,
you.
to get my
Oh, fuck.
stomach wound looked at.
I hope that for you. Okay?
Let me just fly there real
Yeah.
quick.
Anyways, White's at the
Anywho.
hospital with the cops without Black, and he's clearly like losing it. Black shows up and he's bonkers, and he starts saying some shit about like White's holding me back, take him away. He starts then addressing White. He's like, can't take your silly dreams anymore. I'm gonna find a stronger partner.
Bit of
Yes.
a betrayal for sure in this
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
But he, like White knows that he's lying. He's telling him, right? Like
Yeah.
you're lying, right?
Yeah.
Because he knows.
It's a little bit of like the let Lassie go or let Old Yeller go.
yeah.
Go on, get out of here, dog.
But knowing it doesn't change the heartbreak though of that moment when the car peels away and,
Yeah.
and White looks up and
Exactly.
sees Black on top of the building.
Exactly.
And just lets out that fucking
Yeah.
cry at him.
Yeah.
Like
Not to mention
but
you
betrayal.
Yeah.
You know?
Just,
Yeah.
Not to mention you just fucking showed your age again with Old Yeller. Out of all the things you can reference,
Bro.
Old Yeller.
Just living my truth.
Dude, that's so fucking old.
I'm just living my truth. Give me a newer reference. for
Marley
that.
and me.
yeah,
Did that happen to Marley and me? Did they have to make Marley leave?
No, they'd make the decision to put Marley down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why that movie.
Spoiler alert,
I never
guys.
saw that movie.
If you don't know how that movie ends by now, like what
Yeah,
the fuck,
it's-
you living
yeah.
under a rock?
Damn, Marley dead?
Yeah, dude.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, anyways, back
Jesus
to the movie we're
Christ.
talking about. So, Black is super unhinged. It's getting crazier and crazier. He's off the rails, okay? He's rampaging, sleeping with his eyes open on the bus. He has this like weird heart-to-heart with the rat at one point where they're talking about Treasure Town, which again is everyone's coming together, right? The town is losing its mind because of what's happening to it. He has this doll of White that he's walking around with.
Yeah.
And he's talking to it and he's introducing it to people, which is kind of funny to me. Like I was laughing and also like,
It is. It's a sad moment.
It is
Yeah.
a very, very
Yeah.
sad moment.
and then
Because you realize how much he really needs him.
yeah, he realizes
But you
because
also realize how broken Black is. That
Yeah.
he's like talking
Totally.
to people as if it's a real
yeah,
thing.
and he's always been that broken,
Especially-
but now it's manifesting.
As a child.
Yeah,
Right? You
Yeah.
you definitely see that more like in adults and like who have
Yeah.
lived a long life and you've
Yeah.
seen them being torn down, but to see it in a kid like that,
Yeah.
who have lived so much more life than most adults have,
totally.
right? It's so fucking sad.
Yeah. And while this is happening, White is like kind of keeping it together, but then he starts losing it too and starts drawing all these crazy drawings. I'm pretty sure of the Minotaur.
Yes, because he is so connected with White and the town that like he's predicting what's about to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's total foreshadow.
Okay, so then we find out that Kimura is supposed to kill the rat, which we talked about before, and he doesn't want to. And then that's when we find out that Kimura was that the rat was Kimura's mentor, and that they actually have this like real strong relationship you didn't even know about before. Jay has opinions on that. All right.
Nope.
Anyways, and the rat ends up like casually talking the dude through his own execution.
Yes.
Which is like another sad scene. You know what I mean? And then right after that, Black shows up to this dead body and has this moment where he's standing over the dead body. No emotion. You know what I mean? Also sad. Everything's sad at this point. While this is happening, the alien monsters start terrorizing this like pleasure town thing that their bosses built, which was kind of strange to me. Is like, were they ordered to do that? Like they're fucking it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, he just built that.
Yeah.
He's your boss. I didn't understand why that was happening.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then they shoot the head off the white doll that Black was carrying around. And then Black takes an arrow and goes fucking double bonkers, dude. He's losing his mind. And then we meet the fucking Minotaur.
Yes.
And it's crazy.
This is like one of the best parts of this movie.
The animation on the Minotaur being all like pencil crayon, scratchy drawing. It's White's drawings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Was so cool to me, dude. Not to mention when they show you the Minotaur, the camera angle is always low. He's like tall and looming and hulking and like shadowy and creepy.
Yeah, it's his his ego coming out, right? Like
And he's
that
whispering.
bravado. Yeah. It's that dark side of Black that like is really imposing.
Exactly.
Because it's true though. Like anybody, just anybody. Like everybody out there knows that they have this dark side, or like.
Well, we established earlier that I don't.
Oh yeah,
in the last episode, right?
That's actually true.
I don't have the aggression you guys have.
You don't have the aggression, but there is some part of you that has like that negative energy, right? And it always is very overbearing.
Yeah.
Right. So
I will say it was an impactful scene when the Minotaur shows up. And he's kind of cowering over, and the Minotaur comes flying down from behind like that. Like it was definitely very dramatic.
Yeah. Sick.
And
you can stop now.
It looked cool.
Yeah, good. Okay. And you're done. So
I'm trying, guys.
Everything. I'm trying. You're doing
right?
great. I'm just trying.
Was that good?
You're doing great.
I did good.
You're doing good.
You did good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Just
make
stop
sure.
now.
Okay.
You're doing good. Just stop now.
Thank you.
Okay. So
We'll get you a treat.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay. So meanwhile, like the Minotaur is showing Black what he calls the power of darkness. You know what I mean? And he's trying to like show him like give into the dark side. You know what I mean? And in this imagery, you see this image of White on the beach. It's like breaking through the dark imagery. And the Minotaur says something like, "Oh, that leads to death. Stay away from that." You know what I mean? And what I see is like, of course, the Minotaur is the darkness and White is Black's light side, right? But it's also choosing between his two like grounding elements, right? The town, which is probably a path to darkness. If you choose to defend the town, you lose everything. You go into darkness. If you choose to defend White, you maybe get to end up on that beach.
And no more violence.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
No more Minotaur.
Exactly.
Stay in the city, you're the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Leave the city, no more Minotaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinda. But anyways, yeah, kinda. So, and basically, like, this whole scene is Black, like, kind of tripping balls.
Yeah.
He's tripping balls, dude. Like, he's barely even talking. He's just kind of like cowering and like kind of
hallucinating,
crawling on the ground. Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, the place is all fucking on fire. Two monsters murder Kimura out of nowhere, just as we're kind of like maybe starting to like him a bit. Like he finally in the end joins the side of all of like our homies, like our team. You know what I mean?
You know, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave with my girl who's
Exactly.
pregnant."
Exactly.
And like, right,
And then dead out of nowhere, which was like kind of tragic.
You, Kimura.
Exactly. Then there's a bunch of like Black deliberating with the Minotaur about like what to do, and in the end, he ends up choosing his brother, right? Yeah. And the Minotaur kind of gets it. You know what I mean? Like he kind of like chills out on all the darkness. He's like, okay, whatever. But like, I'll be here if you need me. That's kind of where the Minotaur leaves it off. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm here, man. Like, you got me. And then like, Black once again flies out of the sky to like get White, saves him, whatever.
Comes soaring down like a fucking eagle.
Yeah, or like a crow.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
But still,
a raven. if you
Either
will.
way, like a bird.
Yeah.
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 Something that would take magic for a human to do.
No, or just like
No.
years of practicing parkour in the city he knows.
Yeah, or
like the back of his hand.
acrobatics.
Yeah.
Right? Because, Batman and Robin do it.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
Fly like a
Daredevil.
bird.
Yeah.
I fly like a bird.
Almost.
Almost.
But I appreciate that you found a song for our episode.
But it was like multiple songs.
I don't want to fly away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Those are the lyrics. Yeah. That's the song.
Okay, man. Dude.
I love you,
Okay.
Mikey.
I love you guys too.
That was so good.
You guys know
Okay.
which 2 songs I combined there.
You nailed it.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty much done. After he grabs White, he looks at his hand. There's a scar on the hand. That's the reminder of the Minotaur inside.
Yes.
And then he grabs White's hand with that hand, and they run away. The movie closes out. They're on a beach. Somehow they're swimming with a fucking dolphin. And
Oh yeah, no, there are dolphins in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go to the beach and you go in the water, sometimes there are dolphins in the water.
I don't think when you go to the beach, you just end up getting to swim
No,
with the dolphins.
No?
that was a throwback to when
I'm just busting his balls.
yeah, I'm aware.
Hell, that's a throwback. Actually, I'm actually curious.
because in one of the scenes where White is drawing in his little like cell,
Yeah.
right, like he draws a fish and like the other cop comes, oh, nice fish, and it's like, no, it's a fucking dolphin.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
know
a
that it's a
throwback.
reference to like the perfect paradise they always
Yeah.
wanted, but like you don't get dolphins. On the
Right,
beach.
because this is a super
Can you shut the
realistic,
fuck
grounded
up,
movie,
please, dude?
right?
You're coming so hard about movies that I like.
Dude, you got caught up on the fact that they were swimming with dolphins at the end of this movie.
little
That's
bit.
the part that caught you
Because
up.
this
Your priorities are so out
Dude,
of whack,
it's,
dude.
It's the
Yo,
I
but
know.
Japan has dolphins.
Yeah, I know.
It's the last scene of
I
the movie.
believe it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
doesn't.
It's
Oh,
the-
that's right. You don't.
dude. I don't. Yeah.
my anger was directed at the wrong place.
I think so.
It's just the happy ending of the movie, and that just took me out of the happy ending. It's like a dolphin. Anyways,
Just think of it as Clone High, where they just have random dolphins show up in every episode.
sure.
There you go.
It was
Maybe
this is
move on.
a same universe as Clone High.
Yes.
Perfect. Anyways, that's kind of the end. They show you that Black's hand's all healed, but you like can't escape the fact that you know that the Minotaur's still in there. You know what I mean? It shows all healed, but like that Minotaur's never going away. That's
Yeah.
part of him.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking end of the movie.
And there it is.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I love the little like crack in the voice.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
this was fun.
I, for one, had a great time. Mikey, will you sing me a song again?
I'm gonna give you a rating, and I'll fly away like an eagle.
Bro, we're going to release a record one day.
Holy fuck! I don't know why I picked those 2 songs and decided to mesh them.
Well, fly like an eagle.
Yeah.
I'm like a bird.
I know. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why.
It works. I see the pathways in your head that got you there. It just was almost too perfect to be real life. Kind of like that dolphin.
Yeah, but
See what I did there?
It's so funny. Yeah,
Wait, this movie wasn't real life?
this,
No.
you know.
No. That's why you didn't like it.
I gotta watch it again now.
Yeah,
Yes.
you should.
Just kidding. I'm never watching this again.
Wow.
But this is kind of on
Yeah,
par,
you did.
like from the history of our friendship, though. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like, I just do such random shit that doesn't really make sense.
It's
but
the
does- It does make sense.
It's the best, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Jordy, what do you rate it?
I gave this an 8 out of 10.
Nice. That's a solid.
Yeah. I love this
number.
movie, dude. I found the art was so unique. The characters didn't throw me off like they threw Jay off. I found it had action, it had feels, it had characters with growth, it had a plot that I enjoyed, it had like some really striking scenes, dude. The reveal of the Minotaur. When I remembered this movie before I rewatched it, I actually remembered not digging a bunch of the middle chunk and loving the Minotaur chunk. But this watch through, I found myself like really enjoying the journey to get me to that Minotaur scene, and it still delivered when I got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay? For our listeners, I wish you could see Jay's face right now.
They can. Oh, the listeners can.
Listeners can't, but yeah,
You can if
the
you go to
listeners-
YouTube.
Yeah.
4 out of 10.
Whoa!
All right. I accept it.
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've given it a failing?
No. I'm
No
giving
way.
it Beck, dude.
He hated
Oh
Beck
yeah, that's right.
with a
Beck was,
passion.
was
He hates
was a
everything
fan.
I love.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because you like white shit.
Well, I am white, dude, and I was raised white, and I like. Yeah. I'm trying.
I don't think it deserves a 4, man. At
Well, then
least
give it a
pass.
different score.
Okay, no. From
No.
you bastard.
Yeah. Give it a
That's what
score.
I'm talking-
Give it a score for Jay,
Yeah.
and then give it a score for you.
Yeah,
What did
he-
Jay give it, Mikey?
Jay gives it a 5.5.
Okay, and what did you give?
That's what we do to you, so it's only fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
I give it an 8.5.
Okay.
I give it a solid 8.5 because
Oh, yeah.
it's like it had that nostalgia factor. The story's just really nice, well rounded. It
Yeah.
gives me a nice little package, especially even having a manga that I don't have to read for series on series on series. It's a nice
Yeah.
I have the omnibus. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Sorry, that's 8.5 for the manga or the anime?
Well, for both.
Okay.
For both. I would give
Combined.
it 8.5 for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in the manga too, right? Like you were saying when you flipped through my book earlier, it's very cohesive.
Is there
yeah.
more? Is there fleshed out story elements that cut in the
The
movie?
movie basically covers the whole book.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to figure out because again, like I said before, I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Yeah.
And I just recently read the manga, and it seems like very much so 1-to-1.
Cool.
In a
Yeah.
lot of elements.
The manga was originally put out in 3 separate chunks.
Yeah.
And this movie does all 3.
Sick.
yeah.
Cool, guys.
So yeah. Also, if you're looking at our beautiful faces and you're wondering why we look so clear now, is because
Never Not Kittens.
Never Not Kittens.
thank you.
I said it first.
I said it as well at the same time.
We're not going to fight
not gonna
during. We're
fight
not going to fight during the ad read.
But yeah, so go check out Never Not Kittens.
And
they're a rescue.
No, we're not playing that game this time.
And
We like them.
and
the kittens are really cute on TikTok, so definitely
Yeah.
go check out their TikTok. And
They get saved.
yes, they get saved, and
And you can help.
You can help. You can help. They're a nonprofit cat rescue. They do great work. If you can go, we have a link down below. If you can donate whatever you can, it'd be awesome to help them out. They do such great work.
Hell yeah.
give them a follow, give them a
Yeah.
share, whatever you can, guys.
Yeah, whatever you can
Please.
do.
You get kitten content.
You do get really cute kitten content.
Pretty
And
good
you get
deal.
to know that there are kittens being cared for, like they live at the fucking Ritz-Carlton, because that's
Yeah.
what Never Not Kittens does.
Yeah.
It's like literally like the 4 seasons for kittens. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Other than that, where can people find you, Jordy?
I'm at reaching in on Instagram.
I'm
Shay?
at hanger.91.
And you guys can find me at Korean Barbecue 86 on Instagram, but most of the time you're going to find me on Shmanime Pod, on TikTok, Instagram, and wherever else.
Where will they find you on Wednesday nights at 8
Oh,
o'clock?
yes. 8 o'clock
The strip
Eastern.
club in Treasure Town
In-
because
Yes.
It's still open.
it's still open.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, go
Mikey
join
strips there.
Yes. If you want to see my naked, hairy body,
Join the
go there.
Discord.
Join the Discord. It's no longer on OnlyFans. It's free now.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a bit more incentive for you guys. But no, 8 o'clock every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out on Discord. I'll be there. Jordy and Jay pop on too.
Yep.
Let's just hang out. Let's have fun. Talk about this episode. Talk about other anime. You know,
Yeah.
good times.
Show us your pets.
Show us your pets. Yeah, we have a channel for that. For
Yeah.
babies. All right.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
See ya.
Bye.